as we journey along. Come on and journey with me. It's a journey to free. Journey with me. Come on and journey with me. Hey.
Hey guys, Larissa here, and we're on to our next episode of Mask. This is our third episode, and we're here with this beautiful young lady that decided that she wanted to share her story with us. And I want to thank her. I want to take the time out to say a special thank you for having the courage, having the guts to want to share your story with all of us, which brings me to my first question. Why? Why are you doing this?
So the reason I think I'm doing this is because in a situation like this, the more you talk, or I believe the more I talk, the more I get things out. So that's the reason why.
And I can't agree with you more, because you're absolutely right. Talking helps tremendously, and I commend you for doing that. Now, it gets to the difficult part. What is your story? What happened to you?
So my story started about when I was between 7, 8, 9 with 4 abuses or 4 molestations. Mm-hmm. First one was from my cousin, who is, I was living in a big yard, mm-hmm. so to speak, so I was the only female there. And we have land where we farm. We have animals, so we had pig pens and so forth. But on this particular day, we were going to look mangoes. Mm-hmm. So he brought everyone, including the boys and myself. And when we reached, he tried to lure the boys somewhere else, like go over there and look mangoes over there. And then I would go with him. Mm-hmm. And then he laid me on one of his shirts and started to use his penis and rub on my vagina. And until he actually ejaculated on me. So that was the first one. The second one was by a family friend. He was someone who my mother knew because we were trying to get out of a tenement yard. So we were building somewhere. Mm-hmm. And this guy always wanted me around because he would put his hand underneath my dress. And that's the reason I don't like dresses. Mm-hmm. And to finger me, so to speak. Mm-hmm. The other one was also a family friend who did the same thing as him. And the last one was from my stepfather.
So that's 4 abusers between the ages of 7 to 9. Oh my goodness. And I know that your story took a bit of a twist a little bit later as you got older, because there's a 5th abuser. You care to share? It's up to you what you want to share.
So I was 14 at the time, living in a community, a very closed young lady, as in like I don't normally deal with males because of my previous experience with them. Mm-hmm. I am someone who was growing, very nice, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Persons always commended me on my complexion, my personality. So this guy was like, hey, I want to know you, you look nice. And I was like, no. So it turns out that seeing that I was always trying to reject his proposal for him to get to know me, mm-hmm. he actually found a way, because I went to a particular place, mm-hmm. to get my hair done, and the person who was going to do my hair, she said that it is too dirty, so I have to go and wash it. Mm-hmm. So she lives somewhere near to a river. So I went to the river to actually wash my hair. I didn't like to be in a crowd. Mm-hmm. So I walked a little bit down on the river where people could actually see me, mm-hmm. but they couldn't actually, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I went there. When I started washing my hair, I saw him come on the river. Soap was in my hair, soap was on my hands. So he came on, and I was feeling uncomfortable, so I went into the river and I hurried up, washed my hair, washed my hands, took up my stuff, and walked. When I was walking, he was actually trailing me. So I took my phone and I called the person that I went to do my hair, and I wasn't paying too much attention to see that he was actually that close to me.
Oh, wow.
So he hit the phone. When she actually answered, he hit the phone from my hands and he attacked me from behind, pulling me into the cane pieces. Or I don't really understand, really know the specific name of that, but I call it cane pieces. And he pushed me on a stone and pulled up my skirt, and that's the reason why I really hate skirts now again. And pulled down my shorts and my underwear, and then did what he did. When he heard someone in the bushes, because someone was passing, he told me not to make any sound, and I obeyed because after pulling down my dress and everything, he had one hand at my neck and the other with a stone in his hand.
Oh, wow.
So he said if I made any noise, he would drop the stone in my head. So of course I obeyed him because I didn't want to die. Then he let me go, but before he actually let me walk freely, he said if I tell anyone about it, my mother will have to search for my head, but she will actually find my body, but the head will have to be searched for.
Oh my God. What, having that experience, what did that do to you? Could you explain to us what has all of that done to you, just growing up? You're how old now?
20 years old.
20. Oh, you're still very, very young. How has this affected you?
I was, or probably still have some of it in me, but not that much. Aggressive, very aggressive. It happened 15 days before my actual 15th birthday, so I consider that as a birthday present at that time. So I was very aggressive. I hated males, even my own brothers. I hated them.
Oh, wow.
I didn't want anyone to touch me. I was somewhat into sex then too, because at the age of 16 I remember having sex, and I regretted it because after it happened I went and I tell my mommy what happened, who I did it with, and why I did it. So that was actually my healing at the time. And after doing it at 16, 17, I wanted to do it again, but I did not like soft sex, as someone would say. I liked it rough, because that was how I could have dealt with it, because I liked to feel pain. So.
And do you think that is because of what happened and how it happened?
Yes, because I felt dirty. I felt less of myself. I felt that if anyone got it, why can't anybody else? So that was the reason.
Oh my God. My other question to you now would be, what are some of the challenges that you're dealing with right now? From that happened, I know we just touched on how it's manifested in your life, but what are some of the challenges that you're dealing with currently?
Some of the challenges that I'm facing now is the trusting part of it. I don't really trust a lot of people, and the little people that I do trust, I don't share with them everything, because when I was about 16 years old, I was talking to this young man. He was about 17 at the time, 17, 18 at the time. I shared with him what had happened to me and everything, and then he ended up telling somebody else about it. So we had a disagreement, and the person that he told about it actually broadcast that. So I don't really trust people that much. That's one of the challenges I have, and another is keeping a relationship, whether it's intimate relationship or friend relationship. I always feel like somebody is going to betray me.
As I mentioned earlier, this is the third episode, and the previous interviews, it seems as if we all have that same story. It's all of us that have gone through that, not every person, but majority of us. When it comes on to relationships, it's difficult. You've been listening to our guest share her story. We're going to take a break and come back. Again, I am Larissa Rhone, your host, and this is Mask. I'll be right back.
Come and join me as we journey along. Come on and journey with me. It's a journey to free. Journey with me. Come on and journey with me. Hey.
Hey guys, we're back. Larissa here on Masked, and we're speaking to our very special guest today that's sharing her story in the first couple segments about what happened to her as a child. Now, how does speaking help? How do you believe being here, sharing your story, and not just with us here, but overall? Because I've met you before, and we've been talking for a little while. It's fair to say, my little sis. And I know that you don't have a problem talking. However, your situation, this case is still in the court system, so you can't publicly speak about it just yet. However, I want to know, how does the persons that you've met with so far and things that you have done, how does that help you on this healing journey?
Speaking about it, it helps me because, as I said before, it helps me to get things out. It helps to build my strength. And when I say strength, it helps me to understand that I am not really alone and I can share to help someone. Because speaking about it also will give other people courage to actually share their story. And believe it or not, some people actually find the comfort in hearing other person's story, because I usually had a problem with talking about it, and that caused me to wanted to commit suicide. I've tried committing suicide about 2 or 3 times, but the first one was actually taking pills and ended up into the hospital for approximately 2 weeks or so. And I was on suicidal watch with psychiatrists coming to evaluate me every single day. Could not eat, could not go anywhere, could not use the bathroom properly, have to be using pills. So
is that because you were being watched, or you couldn't do anything at all?
It's because I was on suicidal watch. I could not go into closed door. I have to be somewhere where a person's actually seeing me. So when I started talking about it, talking about my problem, some of these suicidal thoughts had actually faded, because I actually understand that not everybody actually thinking like I am thinking. Persons are trying to cope, and one of the ways in coping is talking. You said earlier that you have met me before. Yes, we have met. And one of the things that I learned from you, along with the other person I met with, is journaling. And I have been journaling from then. It has been helping me, but I started burning my books recently. And and I spoke with you. You said stop burning them. So I am trying to keep them safe. So my writing and some of the experience that I have had won't come out in just talking, but through my pieces. And I believe these pieces will actually help somebody one day.
I strongly believe that, and that's one of the reasons why I told you to stop burning them, because not just for other persons, but even you yourself, because you're not always going to be at this place, believe it or not. You're strong, and I know you're a fighter because I've gotten to know you a little bit. And I know at some point in time, later on, you have the opportunity to go back and to just think, oh my God, I was in this space at this particular time. And for several other reasons. I mean, probably someday you will have children, and also your children. That's just pieces to let your children know and understand who their mom really is. There's several reasons, several pluses to journaling and keeping those pieces. So as you said, you stop burning them, which I commend you for that. And let me say this before we go to another break. I believe in you. And I know that you've come a far way. You've gotten past the place where you're blaming yourself. And I'm so happy that we're no longer attempting to commit suicide. I am so proud of you. And let me say that you will be helping a lot of girls, because she's very young, 20 years old, and have gone through a lot. And you've been able to get to this place where you're on your way. You're journeying, and you're journeying to your freedom. And I am comfortable in saying and knowing that you're in a much better place. And I hope and I pray that in the very near future, as soon as this case is done and over with, we'll be able to help some other young, very young girls. I am so grateful, and we're going to take another quick break and come right back for you to tell me and tell us, what is the mask that you wear? This is Larissa Rhone, this is Mask, and we'll be right back.
Come and join me as we journey along. Come on and journey with me. It's a journey to free. Journey with me. Come on and journey with me. Hey.
Hey guys, we're back with our final segment. This is Larissa, and we're speaking to a very special guest today that's sharing her stories in hopes of inspiring and inciting change, encouraging and empowering other young women. And this is what Mask is all about, talking and sharing our stories. And we have gotten to the final question, which is, what is the mask that you currently wear? Or whether it's currently or you've been wearing, whatever the case, what is the mask that you wear?
Well, the mask that I wear is a smile, a very big smile, because if I don't tell people what happened to me, they won't know. Because when I am in the open, I'll make you guys feel like everything is okay. But actually behind the closed door, when I'm by myself, it's something different. So, because I am someone who likes to be active, persons won't really recognize when I am broken. So the mask that I wear is a smile. It's a very big smile. I can't say I have passed wearing a mask, because sometimes stories and passing persons on the road and hearing persons saying stuff will trigger my moment. So I have to wear the mask.
It's so funny that you said that, because again, it's so many of us do. It's that pretense that everything is fine, everything is okay. But as you said, behind closed doors, we tear up. But it's something you said just now about you don't know if you're through wearing the mask because you still get triggered. The truth of the matter is, I don't think that means you're wearing a mask anymore. I can't give you a timeline as to when you will get to that place where nothing bothers you. In fact, I don't even think it's possible. But we do get to a place where, like you're very strong. You have actually gotten to a good place where you no longer want to harm yourself. You're able to speak about it. You seem to be on your way. However, those moments are going to come. Triggers, it's inevitable. It's going to happen, whether from speaking from personal experience. For me, it's just passing an older man, and the way he looks, the way he smells, or whatever the case is. Sometimes even that triggers me. Hearing certain words, like I have a love-hate relationship with the word Vaseline. Like, I cannot. It triggers me. And there's several other key things. And I'm not where I used to be. Likewise, I know you're not where you used to be. But unfortunately, this is just something that we will have to contend with. But outside of that, we will be talking again, because I know you're good and ready to go unmasked, but let's just deal with this legal issue first, which, how long have your case been in court?
5 years.
Yeah, I heard that. 5 years. 5 years. Anyhow, don't quit, honey. Stick it out. You've been standing in there for 5 years. Just write it out as long as you possibly can. I pray, I trust, and I hope that it won't be another 5 years, and this matter will be dealt with soon. But I thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing your story. And as always, I love you. And guys, that's another episode of Mask. I am your host, Larissa Rhone. And as always, from my heart to yours, I love you. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Come on and journey with me. It's a journey to free. Come on and journey with me.